What's happening, people of planet Earth, my fellow humans, and any cats or dogs who might be watching in the background? I saw that movie, what is it, Pets? Secret Lives of Pets? So I know those animals are smarter than we think. So this video is going to be fingers crossed, like every other video I've said, hopefully short, but we'll see. So, the title of this video is going to be something along the lines of how losing, being a loser, actually takes up more energy, time, it's harder, it's more stressful than winning. But this is a really interesting thing, and it's quite deep. You have to be very, very aware of yourself in order to understand this, I think. Or some of you might, or it might not be something that you have to be super aware of. But I just think this really understanding this requires a high level of awareness to understand this. Understand what? Understand that secretly buried very deep inside a lot of us, we are okay with losing. And we actually prefer to lose because we have this misbelief, this these misthoughts that winning is too hard. We feel like I don't want to win because that's going to take a lot of effort. Or I don't want to be successful because if I am successful, then the rest of my life is going to take a lot of effort. It's going to mean a lot more work, a lot more whatever. People dealing with this and that. And, success brings with it a lot of effort and work. This is a misbelief. It's a misbelief, and I'm going to go into why it's a misbelief. It's not correct. It's not a correct way of thinking. We feel as though it's easier to just lose. If I am just unsuccessful and ordinary, I can relax. I don't have to work. It's easy. I'll give you an example. Where this thought for me stemmed from is I have a fight coming up, and I've been mentally preparing myself for this fight. And when you're in a fight, there's an expression in fighting, give your opponent a reason to quit. And the reason why this expression is, common and widespread in fighting is because, sorry for the sound of the dryer and or washing machine in the background, by the way. Hope it's not too annoying. But the reason for why this is such a widespread thought or belief is because it's true that we're constantly, not only in fights, but let's go back to the fight situation. In a fight, you're just looking for a reason to quit because fights are difficult, right? They're hard, and for those of you out there who are involved with some martial arts or fighting or training or anything that requires a lot of hard work, but mostly fighting, you're gonna understand what I'm talking about. That when it's not like watching it on TV. When you're actually in a fight, you're exhausted beyond belief, where you can't even breathe, and on top of that, you have people screaming at you. You're to not give up, to keep fighting, which sometimes helps, sometimes hurts, adds more stress. And then you have someone hitting you and beating you up and trying to break you. Okay, so there is this there's this thing that we say that give the guy a reason to tap out, give the guy a reason to quit. So even if you just choke him and, or punch him, but he still has energy, still has drive. Sometimes he's going to have that. Actually, not sometimes, most of the time, just as with all humans, we're going to have this constant mental dialogue of, oh, just quit, it's going to be easier, you can go home, you can rest, you can relax, this will all be over. It's the same with being successful and being unsuccessful. We think that by being successful, that's going to mean we've got to work harder, or we think that being unsuccessful or losing, that's just an easy way out. And a lot of people out there will say, don't take the easy way out. But I don't believe that's true. I don't believe losing is easy. I don't believe deciding not to be successful is the easy way out. I believe that they're both the same. They both take up the same amount of energy, same amount of work, just in different ways. When you're unsuccessful or losing, you're going to be spending or paying the same amount of stress and energy, but just in a different way. Okay, I'll give you guys a great example. So, and I wish I brought this up earlier because some people might have tuned out of this video by now, but for those of you who have stuck by, here's the example. In training, one of my coaches, he's got this excellent but very difficult, brutal training method of right at the end of training, when you're already exhausted and tired, he makes us line up and then sprint and race against each other. So we line up on one side of the gym and then we sprint to the other side and then back again. Now, who comes first gets to sit out and rest for the next round. And this is the perfect analogy, in my opinion, for why winning and being successful is easier than losing and being unsuccessful. And why so many of us, we have this misbelief that by tapping out, by quitting, by not putting in the effort to win, we're actually going to be saving ourselves energy, we're going to be more relaxed, and we don't have to make an effort, we can just chill, It's a perfect analogy because, I remember when I did this for the first time in the gym, I put all my effort in to try to come first so that I could have a break for the next round because I was already tired, right? But I didn't make it. Now, the guy who won the first race, the first lap, he wound up winning everything. Of course, why? Because he was getting rests. Every time he would win, he had more energy than the rest of us for the next race. It's the same as winning in anything in life, in relationships, in business, in your health. You put that effort in at the beginning, just like he did. He put extra effort in at the beginning to win that first race. It's like catching a wave if you're surfing. You're going to put more effort in than maybe the other surfers on the beach, in the water, to catch that wave. But when you catch that wave, then that's the wave of success, of winning. It's a different experience. You're not going to be putting in as much effort as you did initially to get there. Hope that makes sense. There's a wave of success that you can catch that's going to pay off for that hard work you put in at the beginning. So what I'm coming to with this whole thing is, yes, of course, there is work involved to be successful. But once you start to reach that success, it's like something activates, an engine activates, just like that wave. Something activates and it's going to help you. It's going to drive you forward. It's like the saying where, if you have a lot of money, you can make more money. And if you have less money, it's going to be a struggle, This is for investing, for example, like if I have $1 million, then I can make, a lot of money off of that by investing. But if I have a little amount, it's going to be hard, yeah? But I can I can still get there, but it's just going to be hard. So that aside, the main gist of this video is that don't assume that by quitting, by tapping out, you're going to be saving yourself a lot of energy and you're going to get to relax. No. Why? Because you're going to suffer in a different way. You're going to suffer depression, anxiety. You're going to be unsatisfied. You're going to probably be know deep inside that you have had all this potential that you were able to apply, but you didn't. So you're going to suffer in a very different way. And that type of suffering takes energy, takes work, So being a loser can actually be a lot more work than being a winner. Okay? So I know a lot of you out there are probably thinking, well, I want to be a winner. I don't want to be a loser. That's why at the beginning of this video I said that understanding this topic properly requires a lot of awareness, because secretly, deep inside, many of us, we want to fail. We're okay with failing. We're okay with not being successful. Deep inside, I mean at a very subconscious level, there are some thoughts that are taking place that we are not aware of, that are just saying, don't bother, it's not worth the effort. Just be okay with where you are. That's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. Being, that there is a tremendous strength and peace that can come with, accepting and being okay with where you are. But that's a different type of acceptance and peace, and that's a different topic. What I'm talking about here is, I guess, laziness, because we fear the hard work of being successful, which is, as I said, a misbelief, because it's more, if not, it's more hard work to be losing. Imagine, like these people that put in all this hard work at the beginning, just like that guy at the race, the first lap. People put in all this hard work at the beginning to get somewhere, and then they're going to ride that, they're going to have that wave, right? Whereas people who are like, nah, I'm not going to bother putting in all this effort, I'm going to be cool, and then the rest of their life they have to work with, hard, right? So being successful and winning, it's surprisingly worth that effort that we're afraid of at the beginning. And it can be anything, There's a great saying that I 100% believe in. It's very true that I can't even remember exactly the wording of it, but it's along the lines of it's not that we fear failure, but we fear our own success and our own power. Our own potential is what scares us the most. And that is 100% true. I believe that we are all powerful beyond belief, beyond our own belief. We are each capable of incredible potential, but we bring ourselves down, we limit ourselves, we do not allow ourselves to believe or think that we can be tremendously powerful, tremendously successful. And like everything, especially like everything I talk about in my videos, I am a believer that these things can't happen overnight. They can, but I'm a believer that we condition ourselves. So we have to train ourselves to think of ourselves in a more successful way. So daydreaming, fantasizing about how amazing you can be, how, visualizing yourself successful, visualizing yourself with a master's degree if that's what you want, or visualizing yourself as a champion, visualizing yourself in a great relationship. Remember in my previous videos I said, if you want a family and a beautiful wife or husband and children, well, visualize your children, visualize your home, visualize your garden, your front yard. Visualize your car. Visualize it all. Fantasize. Daydream about it. Because those visualizations, those thoughts that you're having, that's your training. You're carving neural pathways in your mind with those thoughts. Every time you think those thoughts, it's like you're carving into clay or into like a vinyl record. You're creating that path. And as you think a thought of like you being rich on a beach with sipping on, mojitos or whatever, as you think that thought becomes easier to think. It's the same reason why so many people are trapped in, and trapped is not a good word, okay, but it's the same reason why people repetitively think are depressed or anxious, because what they've done is, they've thought for the first time an anxious or depressing thought, and then they do it again and again. Maybe they're thinking of their ex, but then they do it over and over, and they don't realize that they're carving this neural pathway in their mind, and the more they're carving it, the deeper it goes, the easier it becomes to think. And then not only does it become easier to think that thought, but that thought becomes a habit. And when you wake up in the morning and all this energy that you have, your attention, your power, it just falls into that crack that you've carved. And what's that crack? It's a depressing thought, or it's an anxious thought. So what you've got to do, what we all have to do, is create new grooves in our brain, create new cracks, create new rivers, because our attention is like this tremendous power and energy that just flows into our mind, and our mind just has all these different cracks and carvings based on the thoughts we've had. And the strongest cracks, the strongest rivers, the deepest, whatever you want to call them, grooves, are going to draw the most of your attention, okay? So I hope that makes sense. The way to create grooves, new grooves, is by just thinking positive thoughts, thoughts that serve you, thoughts that help you. I am powerful. Each day I grow more at peace, more powerful. Each day I grow more fearless. Each day I embrace my own power. Each day I embrace my tremendous potential and possibilities. Just simply thinking about, your potential, your envisioning, that's you carving those paths. When you're writing down, things you're grateful for, or writing down your goals, that's you carving those paths, because you're thinking of something new, something positive. Every time you think of something, you're carving a path in your mind. You're creating neural pathways, and your attention, which is your energy, your power, is going to flow into the deepest grooves that you've created. So don't allow the deepest grooves that you create, by what I say by deepest grooves is the thoughts that you're thinking the most. Don't allow the thoughts that you're thinking the most to be thoughts that create depression, sadness, anger, anxiety, okay? And what are those types of thoughts? Those are thoughts like, oh, my ex is having more fun without me, or oh, other people's lives are better than mine, or oh, I will never be happy, or oh, there's hundreds of thousands, and for each of us, they're all going to be unique. Oh, I will never be rich. Oh, I will never be successful. Oh, Now, I'm going to say this, but sadly, it takes awareness to just be aware of what are the thoughts that you're thinking. 85% of humans out there are not aware of the mental commentary, the thoughts that you're having. You're driving your car, but as you're driving, you're having a stream of thoughts that, oh, my bills, oh, my life, oh, my relationship, oh, this and that, my coworkers, oh, this person who's, bullying me, or this person who's, Yeah, you're carving thoughts. What you should be thinking is, oh, my success, oh, my goals, oh, my visions, oh, so much to be grateful for. I'm so powerful, oh, my potential, oh, my strength. That's what you should be thinking. Same goes with illnesses. If you have an illness, you can make that illness worse by, oh, my illness, oh, my illness, oh, my illness, oh, my illness. No. Think about, oh, my healthy parts of my body, oh, my health, oh, my health, oh, my power, oh, my health. Okay? I'm not saying you've got to be in denial and block out things. No. You're having the negative, fearful thoughts for a reason. They're there to help you. They're just signaling to you, you have an illness. So put your attention on that illness. Yeah? But you don't want to just be dwelling on it, constantly thinking about it. Okay? So I hope this helps. I'm going to make another video right away after this one. That's going to be about something totally different. Alright, talk to you guys in a bit. Adios for now. Bye.